you. Senator Welch, again, welcome to the committee. It's good to make sure that Vermont's voice is still here on the committee.
Well, I'm being observed here.
You are.
Madam Chair.
Every step you make will be observed, yes.
I'm under a little bit of pressure, but I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you and the ranking member. As he mentioned, we work together in the House. And with all of my colleagues, you know, local agriculture, I believe, is absolutely essential to all of us. Most of us aren't farmers, but all of us benefit by not just what farmers do, but by what they do in being the custodians of the landscape. Vermont is very small agriculture, as you know, but we've got to find a way, in my view, to make local agriculture in every district sustainable. And I want to turn to the Honorable Jenny Lester Moffett, who came up. We had a visit from Undersecretary Moffett, who came to an organic dairy farm that has been in the Course family since 1868. And just think about the things that the generations of family went through, and now they're milking, I think, over 90 head on this 300-plus acre dairy farm. And they don't use plows. 40 years they haven't plowed the land, and it's really productive and doing a great job. And I just want to thank you for coming up and just demonstrating your commitment to that. But one of the questions that came up was about the organic rules. And it's really important we have organic rules to protect the brand. But it's also important that the rules not be oppressive so that those folks who are honestly trying to comply with them don't have to get buried in paperwork. And that was a question that was asked to you by the fifth and sixth generation of courses who were present. Maybe you could elaborate on how you're going to try to thread that needle, which I think would be important to all of the farmers that we represent for whom that's a concern.
Thank you, Senator Welch, and it was a pleasure to be up in Vermont last week with you and to meet with the Course family. It is conversations like those around the kitchen table at dairy farmer and other farmers is such a valuable part of the job that I have, really informing the decisions that we're making at USDA to make sure they're really rooted in the best interests of farmers and producers and folks around the community. So thank you for having me. Regarding your question about organic rules, yes, organic rules are such an important part, and the National Organic Program is really based on a ever-changing organic industry, and so continuously updating organic rules is an important part. I know that as someone who sold organic product around the world, how important that level playing field is. At the same time, making sure that organic producers, while implementing very rigorous standards, are also not doing paperwork that is unnecessary is an important part of that. So we're making sure a lot of the strengthening organic enforcement rule will actually be about bringing in new brokers, importers, folks who have not traditionally been part and certified under organic standards. There won't be a lot of changes that existing organic producers will see, aside if they're importing product into the country and other trade. So the paperwork that they're currently filling out will not see many changes.
Well, thank you. And, you know, one thing that could be helpful, all of us have organic farmers where if they have issues with how the rules are being implemented or interpreted, we can contact you.
Absolutely.
Because that, I would think, be a common concern. Thank you. And Ms. Charles, that was just a heartbreaking story you told about that woman who lost her 18 cattle and nearly lost the life of her daughter. And it's reassuring and wonderful that food aid saved her life. But there's a constant issue about food aid, leave out the climate issues for a minute, about what we can do to help local agriculture there, because obviously the best food aid is local production. And I know that's a concern for you because it's not as though we're going to be able to really solve that problem, and it's much better for folks in those horrible situations to be independent. Is there any policies that are under consideration about trying to help food insecurity by helping food production locally?
Certainly a big piece of our development assistance at USAID is about poverty reduction and increasing the yields of smallhold farmers in particular to increase food security in the long term. under the Food for Peace program, the bulk of that is emergency food assistance, but we do have a small percentage, about 10% of that program, that is dedicated to longer-term resilience activities. These are activities often targeting small-scale farmers or helping pastoralists transition to agro-pastoralists to help them build resilience and be more able to withstand climate shocks or conflict shocks by improving productivity, yields, using climate smart agricultural inputs. And we would like to work with you and your team as you look at reauthorizing the Farm Bill on ways to maximize the effectiveness of those.
Thank you. I yield back. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Senator Thune.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Senator Bozeman for holding today's hearing to consider trade and horticulture titles of the Farm Bill. I look forward to working with you, both of you, and our colleagues on this committee to advance a farm bill that supports the needs of producers and rural America.